All right, let's jump right in. We all think we know what makes a restaurant truly great, don't we? The amazing food, the perfect vibe, that top-notch service. But what if the single biggest secret to success is something most people completely miss, and it's literally hiding right in front of our faces?
No, really, just think about it for a sec. What's the one thing that makes you go, oh yeah, we're definitely going back there? Is it that incredible lasagna? Or maybe the waiter who remembered your order from last time? Or is it something else entirely? Something you might not even consciously notice?
Okay, so let's play a little game. Picture two places. Restaurant A has a chef who's a culinary genius. We're talking Michelin star level food, but the tables are kind of sticky and the floor's seen better days. Then there's Restaurant B. The food, it's fine, totally average, nothing to write home about. But the place is absolutely spotless. Which one are you going back to?
Well, the answer might actually surprise you, so get ready because we're about to drop a number on you that will completely change the way you look at the entire restaurant business.
93%. Just let that number hang in the air for a moment. 93. So what in the world does that actually mean? It means that for a mind-blowing 93% of customers, cleanliness is the #1 reason they decide whether to come back or not. Seriously, let that sink in. It's more important than how good the food tastes, how cheap it is, or even how nice the staff is. It trumps everything.
It's almost like every single customer walks through the door and immediately puts on a pair of what we'll call cleanliness glasses. They don't even know they're doing it, but they're subconsciously scanning everything. The floors, the salt shakers, the menus, the cutlery. They're forming an opinion about your place before a single bite of food has been served.
And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This has huge, real-world consequences. Let me tell you about a pizzeria owner named Marco, who learned this lesson in the toughest way possible.
So Marco's place in Lyon, France had absolutely fantastic pizza, great prices, but he just couldn't get people to come back. He was baffled until one day, a regular customer finally gave him the brutal, honest truth. Marco, your pizza's incredible, but your tables are always sticky, and honestly, it just kills my appetite.
Ouch. So what did Marco do? He immediately invested in some real, proper cleaning training for his whole team. And the result? Get this, a 40% explosion in his customer base in just 3 months. His online reviews shot through the roof, all because he finally dealt with those sticky tables.
Okay, so the lesson here is just to clean like crazy, right? Well, it's actually a little more complicated than that. A lot of restaurant owners fall into this really common, really expensive trap because they confuse two totally different ideas.
See, your customers don't want to eat in a hospital operating room. Sterile feels cold, it feels chemical, and it actually makes people uncomfortable. What they want is clean. They want to feel like they're in a warm, welcoming, well-cared-for home. It's all about getting rid of visible dirt, not trying to achieve the impossible goal of having 0 germs.
And not understanding this difference can cost you a lot. Let's talk about Sarah, a bistro owner in Paris, who learned a very, very expensive lesson about what not to do.
Sarah became completely obsessed with making her place sterile. She was spending a fortune on these harsh industrial disinfectants, and she had her staff cleaning constantly. The result? Her team was totally burnt out, her costs went through the roof, and you know what? Customers actually complained that the place smelled like chemicals and felt cold. So she switched her focus to simple visual cleanliness, and she ended up cutting her costs in half while making her customers way happier. So how do you get this just right? Let's get into some of the simple but super high-impact secrets from restaurant owners who have totally mastered this art of clean.
The second a customer sits down, the inspection starts. The table is ground zero. It's your very first test. And think about it. One little stain on a fork, a cloudy water glass, a sticky sugar dispenser, it's enough to plant a seed of doubt that kills the whole vibe before the food even arrives.
So how do you pass this test every single time? Well, a restaurateur in Marseille named Giuseppe came up with this brilliant little trick called the 5 golden seconds rule. Every server, before they put a single thing on the table, has to inspect each item, the fork, the knife, the glass, for 5 full seconds. It sounds so simple, right? The result? He had 0 cleanliness complaints for 6 months straight. Genius.
Which brings us to a bigger idea. You've got to think of your dining room as a stage, a theater. And every single customer who walks in, they're the critics, and they are watching the show very, very closely.
And here are a few little ninja tips to make sure that show is a hit. A brasserie owner named Claire was getting killed by flies in the summer. Her fix? Air curtains at the entrance. Boom, problem solved. Another pro tip?
Use different colored cleaning cloths for different areas so you're not wiping tables with the same cloth you used somewhere else. Customers notice that stuff. And then there's Thomas. His open kitchen was a mess and his business was sinking. He turned the part customers could see into a spotless show zone, and his reservations literally doubled.
Now, if you really want to level up from just being good to being wow, you have to sweat the small stuff. Marie, who ran this tiny little cafe, built her entire reputation on this. Her windows were always sparkling, every piece of chrome was polished to a mirror shine, even the baseboards were immaculate. People started saying her cafe just had something special. That special thing was just her incredible attention to detail.
All right, so we've seen the problem, we've looked at the psychology behind it, and we've gotten some incredible tips from the pros. So now, let's pull it all together into a clear plan you can actually use. Here it is, a simple 7-step plan. 1. Train your team every single month to keep these ideas fresh. 2. Use visual checklists so nothing gets forgotten. 3. Invest in good tools. Don't cheap out on your cleaning supplies. 4. Make the 5-second rule a non-negotiable for every table. 5. Name a cleanliness lead for every shift to keep everyone accountable. 6. Do your own surprise inspections. And 7, and this is a big one, reward your team when they do an amazing job.
Because here's the most important takeaway of all. You have to stop thinking about cleaning as a chore or just another expense on the balance sheet. Cleanliness is not a cost. It is one of the single best investments you can possibly make in your restaurant. And we've got the numbers to prove it. The data shows that for every single euro or dollar you spend on getting cleanliness right, you get an average of 3 euros back in customer loyalty and repeat business. I mean, come on, that is a fantastic return on investment you just can't afford to ignore. So, I'm going to leave you with a challenge. The very next time you go out to eat, I want you to put on those cleanliness glasses we talked about. Really look around. Look at the corners. Check out the salt shaker. Glance at the windows. What do you see? Because now that you know the secret, I promise you, you will never look at a restaurant the same way again.